Hey friend, in this video, this is a little extension on our video on the 3 colors I can't live without. I chose Prussian Blue, Opera Rose, and Lemon Yellow Deep. If you didn't see that video, make sure you go watch it. We'll link it in this video. But basically in this video, I'm showing you a full piece that I can create with just those 3 colors, showing you what colors I'm mixing together to get more muted colors, brown tones, all of that good stuff. In this tutorial though, I'm going to show you how to paint a picture. I'm going to show you how to paint a floral piece similar to this using just 3 colors. We mix up brown, we mix up blue-green, yellow-green, a muted peachy color, a muted orange color, using contrasting colors. We mix up a violet, we mix up a really rich blue with some violet in it. So many different colors are possible with just these 3 colors. So this is going to teach you beyond the 3 colors that I'm using. If you have 3 different colors in your palette, you can use those and you can mix up a world of color. So let's dive in. All right, so I've got a clean palette here so that you can see me mixing these colors and only these 3 colors with Lemon Yellow Deep, Opera Rose, and Prussian Blue. And a lot of people commented in the last video where we talked about my favorite 3 colors that I can't live without, mentioned that Opera Rose is a fugitive color, and why would I choose that as one of my options? And for me, Opera Rose, I don't sell any of my original paintings, but a fugitive color basically means that it's a temporary color. So depending on the weather conditions or the light exposure, etc., this color can fade and lose its light fastness. I have had paintings on my wall with this color all over the place for 7+ years, and it hasn't faded. But also most of my artwork is scanned, and I don't sell originals. So that's the main reason why it works well for me. But depending on where you live, you might have issues with this color and it might be more temporary for you. So, but I love Opera Rose. I think it's just a beautiful color. So that's why I chose it. But I'm going to be painting a floral piece, kind of just like a little motif right here. And instead of starting with just Opera Rose, I'm going to start mixing up some of my secondary colors so I have them on hand before I start painting. So let's say I want like a nice orangey, blushy tone with my yellow. My water has a little bit of pink in it, so on this side I'm grabbing yellow and I'm going to go back to that side if I ever want to mix it with pink, so I can have a clean yellow throughout the rest of that block. So then I'm going to mix up a kind of peachy color, which I can add more yellow to as I start painting if I want. And I can also lighten it by just going to my water cup. Now let's add or mix up some Opera Rose, put it in our little mixing well, with Prussian Blue for a purple color. That got really blue really fast. So let's grab some more Opera Rose until we get it to the hue that we want. You don't need to create the exact same colors that I am doing. This is just to show you the amount of colors you can mix up with just 3. So then let's say this purple is a little too royal purple for us and we want it to be a little bit muted. I'm going to grab some of this peach that I already mixed up and I'm going to swirl it in there. So orange and blue are contrasting colors. Yellow and purple are contrasting colors. But when I add orange to blue, it basically creates this more muted effect because it kind of essentially makes brown. So this is a purple using Opera Rose and Prussian Blue with a tiny bit of this orange that I mixed up with Opera Rose and Lemon Yellow Deep to give it this brown undertone. So we have a nice subtle purple, a nice subtle blush color. Now let's mix up some of our greens. So I'm going to grab yellow from over here because over on the right side of my yellow, I'm using to mix up my warm yellows and oranges and pinks. And so my greens are going to be from this side of the yellow and down here in my mixing well. And then I'm going to wash my brush off so that it's clean and grab some blue, just a little bit. we've got a nice mid-green, but let's say I want this to be a little bit more muted instead of such a vibrant green. Then I would grab just a touch of pink, because red and green are contrasting colors. So we're doing essentially what we did up here to the purple, except pink instead of red. And we're just gonna make it slightly more brown undertone-y. And then if I want this green to be a little bit more blue, I can grab more blue for a blue-green, or more yellow-green. It just depends on the hue that you're wanting. And if you want it more muted, you just grab some more of that pink. Just start slow. Start with a little bit of pink and then work in more, depending on how brown you want it. So that just turned it super brown. So if we want to bring that back to more green, we just add more blue and more yellow till we get it to the hue that we want. So those are nice colors and tones together. And I can also add another green over here if I wanted. So let's start with blue. Add a little water. Grab some yellow. Nice blue-green. We can make it into a smoky blue-green for like eucalyptus by, again, adding, let's add this peach color actually and see what happens. So I have a lot of blue-green in this dish, so I'm gonna have to grab a lot of this peachy color. Just mutes it a little bit. It's a nice tone. Okay, so now let's start putting our colors down for a little floral motif with using just 3 colors to start with. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but we can also, oh, let's mix up a brown. We need a brown. So I've got my orange base here. I'm gonna bring some of this orange into a separate mixing well over here. What is oranges? Contrasting color. Contrasting colors typically make brown. So add some blue to it. Got this kind of purpley gray. Let's grab some more orange, more warm color. Touch. Maybe a little yellow. Getting there. So it's a nice sandy brown right now. So we're just adding more pigment so it gets thicker and the mixture gets thicker and our pigment or our brown color gets darker. So it does require some patience versus, just having the color already pre-made and in a bottle. But if you have limited colors to work from, just know that you can get there with using these colors, these primary colors. Okay, so now we've got a good thick mixture. It's almost brown. It's still kind of peach for me, so I'm just gonna grab a tiny bit, as tiny as possible. More blue. Maybe some of this blue-green. Nice smoky brown color for our stems. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors. And we can even mix up a huge amount more colors. There's so many in-betweens. There's so many secondary and tertiary colors that we can still mix up. But let's start painting our floral piece. So I'm gonna add more of this blush. If you aren't comfortable with painting flowers, I have loads of floral tutorials for you on my YouTube channel. We're gonna link in this video. So make sure if you need more understanding, our 10 simple flower painting that we posted a couple weeks ago is super helpful. So you definitely wanna watch that one. But I'm just gonna paint some basic heart-shaped flowers. So I have a 35 to 45 degree angle with my brush hold, and I'm pointing my brush to where I'm gonna have my stem. And I'm just gonna point and curve in Point, press, and curve in. So here is one petal, and then do that on the other side. Point and curve in, point and curve in. So we have a little heart shape for one of our florals. Let's say I want the same type of flower. I'm going to use a slightly more pink hue for this next one so that it's similar but not the exact same. So point, press, and curve in. Again, if you're not super comfortable with painting flowers, make sure you watch those tutorials. Point, press, and curve in. Little heart shape is what we're creating. And I'm going to do one more flower and then start adding some leaves. Added more pink for this one. So it's kind of gradually going from yellow-orange to pink. Little hearts or butterflies. I want some of that brown on this side of the yellow for my green. So I'm going to paint my stem and then add another stem for leaves. Maybe a little bit more yellow for this next leaf. So as I'm painting this, my challenge to you is to focus on just using 3 paints and seeing what colors you can mix up for a painting similar to this. You don't have to paint flowers, you can paint something abstract, you can paint a landscape if you want, but just kind of challenging yourself to only use 3 colors and try to mix up around 6 or 7 colors altogether. So 3 additional colors, if not more. We have a video on creating a color study chart, which if you're not very familiar with color mixing and you really struggle with it, then I highly recommend that you do that video before jumping into this video, because that is just going to open your eyes to all of the possibilities that you have with pigments, and some colors that you think might look really gross and ugly together create some amazing colors. So remember that contrasting colors make brown or like a muted undertone. So if you want something to look more muted and you're using a strong, vibrant color like Opera Rose, you can always mute it down by grabbing its contrasting color or whatever you're mixing it with, its contrasting color. So for example, this little area right here was orange or peach color, and to make it more of like a clay tone, orange's contrasting color is blue. So just grabbing little increments of blue at a time so that we don't overload it with blue and have trouble coming back to where we want it, so that you can create a more brown undertone, peachy orange color. These little berries, or amaranthus, whatever you want to call it. Could be berries or amaranthus. You can use blue by itself. Mixed with that purple, it makes a really lovely blue color. So if at this point you're wondering why I choose to put certain things and where I choose to put them, we have a floral composition video tutorial for you. So we'll link it in this video if you want further study and practice for composition with your florals. This video is just a tutorial or an exercise on color mixing and using 3 colors only. So make sure you go check that one out.
You just have so much content, Jenna.
I know, right? Content queen.
Hey.
Can't stop the content queen. Just a little sprig of fluffy florals. So see how crazy that is? All from 3 colors. We've got our peaches, we've got our blues, we've got our purples, we've got our brown undertone peaches, we've got our bright pinks, we've got our greens. We can do a yellow green, we've got blue green. All of the things. So if you've only got 3 colors to work with, you can make a whole lot more with what you got. Work with what you got. Why do I have to be so annoying sometimes?
You're not annoying, don't say that.
Work with what you got. Yellow greens. Little brown stemmies for the yellow guys. There you have it, my dears. 1 brush, 3 colors. Boom, 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 boom. All right, and there you have it. So we painted a beautifully colorful floral piece, a little floral motif, which just by looking at this piece, you probably assume that the person who painted it probably had like a huge palette with tons of colors, or at least 6, 7 colors. But we only used 3 for this. So my challenge to you is to use whatever 3 colors you would want to use or you can't live without, possibly, in your piece, whether it's a landscape, abstract, floral, etc. And I would love to know below in the comments what 3 colors you used from your actual palette. So get creative, mix up colors that you think might look ugly together. You may be surprised what color spawns. Is that a word? Is birthed.
Also weird.
What color
Shows up.
is created, shows up from 2 colors mixed together that you think might look gross. I need a nap. All right, you guys. Well, enough of the silliness. Let me know in the comments below what 3 questions. Oh my goodness. Let me know in the comments below what 3 colors you used, and I hope you stay creative, and I'll see you in the next video. Nice little sunflower on its side. And then maybe we have our stem curving at the top.